Citizen TV, the citizen's power. 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 Citizen TV, the citizen's power.
And be physically present and be captured, because the law anticipated that you will have very dishonest people like J. Mensa and Bossman who will sit in the comfort of their offices and just look at people they don't like and will take Mr. Honorable Donko from Pru East and then bring them to my constituency, Kruo. And so you ought to be physically present. The 38 people that were transferred from Tamale South to Pusiga did not say that they wanted their vote transferred. When we raised it, Bossman Asari said, it is not true. They thought we were just saying something because the NPP is used to making sweeping statements. Then we provided them with the specific list. Then they said that, oh, then it is only the 38. Oh, then we are correcting it, 38. The joke of it. As if we are kids, as if we are children, as if the EC thinks that we are all as dumb as they are, for want of a better expression. Because I cannot for my life think about why the EC will give this response to us. First, they say it is not true. The NDC could not have detected that. You know why? Because the essence of a voter exhibition is not to detect the irregularities that the NDC has detected. And I'll go through with us the various irregularities we've detected. The essence is for you to just see whether, first of all, your name is on the register. Secondly, whether your details have been captured rightly. So if my name is, my official name is Bishis Ananfiu. It's not hyphenated. Some people write and hyphenate it. And so the voter register or exhibition will afford me the opportunity to see whether my name has been spelled correctly, whether my date of birth has been captured rightly and all that. And if there is any issue, I will just give it. There is no way any political party in the past has used the voter exhibition to detect the errors we have detected. And so this should tell every Ghanaian and the EC that the mistakes of 2020 will not repeat itself in 2024. So when we went to the EC, they were wondering, because they themselves knew that my mere exhibition, you could not have detected this error. So how did you detect it? The NDC showed the EC our methodology. We explained to them how we detected this, so that they will know that we are not sleeping. So that they will know that the kind of rigging and machination they did in 2020, we have an eagle eye on them. Again, the EC had deliberately deleted the names of people who have legally registered. About 3,957 people's names have been completely excluded or deleted from the register. For no fault of theirs. It is not the case that the people had done double registration. These were people who voted in 2020. But for some reason, in very specific places, they have deleted names of people. And when we tallied, it brought us to 3,957 people. The EC said, oh, it must have been an oversight. Then we were transferring the data from 2020 to 2024, and we probably made a mistake and we deleted it. Another cock and bull story. So we have identified 3,957. How many more have been deleted? That's because now the EC has two source voter register. The one they gave to the NDC, the one they exhibited. So where is the third source? Could there be a fifth source? Could there be a 10th source? Then the EC also, out of the list, 2,094 were names that have been transferred, but those names are not on the absent list. So this is how we do it. If you live in, let's say, Tamale South, and then you transfer your vote from Tamale South to Tesano here where we find ourselves, what we do is that in Tamale South, because you have transferred your vote from that place, they must have what we call the absent list, so that on the day of voting you can't go back to Tamale South and vote. And all the political parties have that list, so that we know that Beatrice transferred her vote from Tamale South to Tesano. So Beatrice cannot vote in Tamale South. So we have that absent list. And even at the time of tallying the pink sheet, we will use that absent list to determine the total number of people eligible to vote or otherwise. Because we have to subtract the absent list from the total number of voters. So you had the EC saying that 2,094 people have transferred their votes. But this absent list we will use to check whether the person has indeed transferred the votes, and for which reason will go into the total number of votes. These names are not there. Now they are saying that, and you know the worst one, over 243,000 votes which were transferred in 2020 have now been added to the 2023 transfer list. So it's more like double pardon, over 240. So as we speak, we cannot tell the total number of people who transferred their votes at the last transfer. We cannot tell. Then you have 15,000 people who have been captured as transferring their votes. But we don't know where the EC transferred their votes to. So on the day of voting, you go to Odio, and you'll be told that, oh no, we don't have your name here because it's been transferred. And yet we don't know where you have been transferred to, so that if you can't find your name in Odio, you know that, okay, then I have to vote in Numwa. Let me pick a card to Numwa and go and vote. We can't find. In any case, who asked the EC to transfer names of people who were not present? And so the NDC is giving you solid basis. And this morning when I was coming, I was listening to the EC's boss, one of the EC's boss. I've forgotten his name. Let me see if I can. He has some funny name. I've forgotten the name. His argument that he was making, and I was like, God, what is happening to our country? Where can this happen? Where can this happen is that for all the things the NDC was complaining about, the reason, so they admitted that everything the NDC said is true. That indeed, they had even taken steps to correct the errors the NDC is complaining about. But all the things we have said, the reason it occurred is that they didn't have something they called the live test or lively test or something. That was a software that ought to make sure that at the time people were transferring their votes, they were really present in person. But after the NDC audited the register itself and came up with all these things, oh, they have gone to procure the software. Hey, people need to be caned in this country, eh? People practically, like literally and metaphorically, have to be caned. So now that you have gone to procure a software whose function would have been to detect people at the time of the transfer, and the transfer is over, and you've now gone to procure it, what should we do with the software? Or it is to make us feel better that, oh, we didn't have the software at the time we were doing the gerrymandering. Oh, but now we bought the software. So what should we use the software for?
Please wrap up for me.
The point is that the EC will not succeed this time around. The mistakes of 2020 will not repeat itself. And I can assure every Ghanaian who wants to vote for the NDC to be more than ever confident that the NDC this time will protect your vote. That the NDC this time will not sacrifice the sacred will of the people on the altar of peace, for there can be no peace without justice. It has never happened anywhere that a group of people will be subjected to injustices and say that in the name of peace. As we speak, the UNDP is willing to fund the audit. So the government of Ghana cannot say that they do not have money to carry out the audit the NDC is asking for. The EC cannot say that they are so independent as to rig the mandates of the people, and so they will not subject themselves to audit. And let me say that come Tuesday, the journey to having a very free, fair, and credible election is starting. In all 16 regions across this country, the NDC is embarking on a demonstration calculated to telling everybody, including the international community, that whatever happens in this country, the NDC has done everything democratically possible, including the advocacy as I'm doing this morning and as all others have joined in doing. The NDC has exercised its right to demonstrate and to register its displeasure about how a young democracy is being toyed with. And if the EC decides that they will not listen, that they will not respect the tenets of the Constitution, that they will not listen to all voices of reasoning, then nobody can blame the NDC. Because you would have been very responsible, and the NDC has demonstrated a lot of responsibility in the past. The NPP must know that they are only clutching onto straws. The BNI, or now NIB, has conducted their own polls. They have told the NPP they are losing the election, which polls we all have access to. They are not just losing the presidential, they are losing the parliamentary as well. Info Analytics is telling them that they are losing EIU, which has never got any predictions wrong when it comes to our election from 1992, has told the NPP they are losing. But you see, it's not even about the polls and the books. When Dr. Bawumia goes to the ground and does his campaign, he sees very well that they are losing. In recent times, he was in the shrine where they were pouring whether blood or whatever on his leg, and all of a sudden he doesn't believe in Islam and he's gone to this thing. Sure. Even there, he knows that they are losing the election. And so no amount of machination and gerrymandering, but in the first place, we will not even allow it to happen. And we will follow them even to the day of election. And so I want all Ghanaians to rally behind the NDC, including the Alliance for Change. Everybody should rally behind the NDC together with one voice, and let's tell the NPP that you cannot come to power and make the lives of the citizens worse. You cannot come to power and loot our land. This morning I was listening to Okujato and how presidential and politically exposed persons have grabbed all the lands. Now they are on the trade fair lands. Okay. You cannot come to power and dissipate our resources and say that I will not allow the people to choose their government. That we will resist with all our might and with all our will.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This morning I clearly overestimated my voice. I'm struggling now. Let's move to the auditor, Nia Boyanani. What do you think?
Yes, Before I proceed, let me also congratulate KOD. I think there is a cabal within the cabal. Because I heard of it quite recent. I think a day or two after it was announced. Yeah. Yet we were very good friends. and Solo knows what it means. but I want to say congratulations to him. I hope and pray he does a good job with the position is given, and I know him, so I expect the best from him. I see the finger of Solo everywhere in this thing, but we will proceed. Let me do something. In 1992, the Emory University of Atlanta were part of the observer missions. And these were their comments in the reports they generated after the elections. And permit me to read. The absence of a reliable and consistent procedure for identifying eligible voters led to allegations of impersonation or the disqualification of those voters. Some potential voters were turned away because they could not state their addresses or their names in ways that correspond to what appeared on the register. Although in these cases the voter were asked to check for their names in other polling stations, it was not clear to our observers how many eventually were able to find their names elsewhere. Voters turned away from one polling station may have faced a long wait on other queues. This was especially true in the urban areas. A related problem was the question of verifying whether a person was old enough to vote. So, since 1992, we've been grappling with issues of people not finding their names, probably at places where they had registered, and having to be sent away to other polling stations to find their name on election day. From 1992 to 2024, how many years? And the question I will ask is, have we developed? Have we evolved? Have we seen progress in terms of even the elections we organized every 4 years? How many 4 years have we come since 1992? But what really is the problem? Some few years back, almost 8 years back, we had an organization that was so vociferous. They come out with all the verve. Let my vote count. They were concerned. They had a lot of concerns about the register and this and that. They were perusing everything. They were checking everything. Where are they? Now they have food in their mouths and they cannot speak. Is that the case? Yes, I think so. Why is it that when we are in power, we see nothing wrong consistently over the years? We see nothing wrong about the register. We are eager and we are so keen on the register only when we are in opposition. As a country, aren't we doing a great disservice to ourselves? That's, for me, pass as the EC being partisan. So I don't care whether you tell me it was a Farijan there or Jane Mensah there today. If we have to be honest to ourselves as citizens of this nation, then let us speak truth to ourselves. Let's have a very honest conversation about the EC. Akufo-Addo threatening the EC today is in love with the EC. I see an institution. I don't see an individual called Jane Mensah or whoever. Are we saying that the individuals there ride so high than the processes and procedures laid down for several years, the historical knowledge acquired over the years by various directors, administrators of the EC, all of a sudden vanishes because one lady, one fine lady, has been put as the head of the EC? Is that what we are telling ourselves? Have we put the financial aspect of this register into perspective? Let's go back and check how much we have spent anytime we want to reorganize this register. And if in 1992, the problems we had, the challenges we faced in 1992 are the same challenges we are facing in the year 2024, then I think that as a people, we are not progressing. We have not evolved. And that can't just be right. That is too insulting for you and I to find ourselves as part of what is going on. Look, someone will say elections are won at the polling station. Trust me, elections are won by those who can do their maths well. When somebody is doing his maths well, unfortunately for them, knowledge does not belong to one person, or it doesn't live in one man's house. In my constituency, I asked, why won't you go and sit at the EC office and every day insist that I get the ins and the outs in terms of transfers? I was told, oh, as for the transfers, you are not allowed to come and observe. I said, what? If the person has to come with his ID card physically, that belongs to another polling station in another jurisdiction, to say that I want to transfer my vote, then physically I should be there to observe him. But we allowed that to go. And I keep raising it, and nobody could listen. And do you know what? The out transfers in Ododo alone is 5,000. And it is coming from the strongholds of the NDC. So someone is doing his maths well. What I hate is firefighting. I feel cheated if I have to go and firefight something. But in all this, why should we even go through all this? Why should we do that? Why should we go through all this? When I heard my brother Solo saying that they have superiority in terms of software, why should we go through all this? The EC should even be able to conduct all this without even our presence as political parties. If we all believe the EC is credible enough, but we all don't trust and believe that the EC is credible enough. And why should that happen? Well, the call for forensic audit. When you tell any auditor that you want to have a forensic audit, then one, you suspect fraud. Forensic audit is not like ordinary audits, where the intention is not to find fault. And when you say forensic audit, then you want to find fraud. Are we looking for fraud? If we are looking for fraud, then we might as well look for the perpetrators of the fraud. Because I don't see any way an auditor will go and look for just the fraud and not look for the fraudster. Which means somebody must be punished for this. Have we proven a point that there has been fraud? Yes. If I have not physically presented myself as the law requires, as the process and procedures requires, for me to transfer my vote from one point to the other, yet I get to transfer, then of course fraud has been perpetrated. And please, let us stop this bangling around with softwares and all that. Please, it doesn't help. It casts us in a certain, light, as if we are ignorant and all that. Every software has its codings. There are limitations within every software. There is what you can do and what you cannot do within softwares. And therefore, we should not behave as if the software is some Solomon Usu sitting somewhere where he wakes up today and he feels he wants to eat fufu. So he go drive and then go and eat fufu. That's not how softwares work. And if the softwares are actually certified ISO 27001, it means that they are well closed from even the back end, that nobody can manipulate it. And if you have to manipulate it, there should be an audit trail on that. So in a forensic audit, we should have access to the audit trail. Who actually gave what command? And those people should be found out and punished. If not, another 4 years will come, and you will invite me to come and sit here and talk about this same matter. Just imagine if I was a panelist since 1992. Every 4 years, it means we would have to come and discuss this same issue here. Now, I presuppose somebody is watching in another jurisdiction who is not party to anything in this country and is in a little civilized nation. What will he call us, all of us? Not to use the proper word I intend to use. He will say we are all not intelligent. If we are still here grappling with issues as petty as this, but very vital. Very, 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 very vital. So yes, is the call for the audit a good call? Yes, it's a good call. But what do we intend to achieve with the audit? That corrections will be done, that those who have not presented themselves physically at the place will be moved out. What exactly do we expect at the end of the audit? Or we will say, this register is fraudulent, and therefore we should compile a new register. Because like I said, when you commission an audit, you should have what actually you intend to achieve with it. And in terms of forensic audit, we will have to find the fraudsters and the fraud that has been committed and make sure that it is either corrected and those involved also punished. Look, this democracy that we are toiling with every 4 years, God has been so good to us that this democracy have survived this far. And I thought that we should grow it for all Ghanaians. Because if we assume that it's going to be there, even when we are reckless, it's a lie, it's a joke. One day it will crash. And when it crashes, it will not crash only on my head, but it will also be on Solo's head. And therefore, let's all be involved in making sure it shouldn't be just the NDC going on a demonstration. And if somebody asks for a forensic audit, why should that go further to a demonstration to put pressure on the EC, who has nothing to hide? And if the EC is also not paying for the audit, then what is our problem asking for this audit? I think that we are overindulging in this political thing. And it is time we tell ourselves the truth, the honest truth, that this country is retrogressing in every direction. And it's a shame. If in Africa we are described as a beacon of democracy, and we are still talking about such petty issues. If I am President Akufo-Addo, I would be so ashamed that under my presidency, such a thing is being discussed. This is a man who sat in court for several months, right? 8 months. Pointing out anomalies. But that under his leadership, we wouldn't all be here to discuss what we are discussing. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, I think there was, or there is 2 Akufo-Addos. The one struggling for power is different from the one in power. And that's disgraceful. To my own sister, whose house, family house, is just close to my family house in Ododo. Jane Mensah. No, Jane Mensah. Yes. And I'm saying that we Gans, we have a name. And our names are very important as Gans. Because when your name is mentioned, as a Ga, everybody knows your grandfather's house and your great-grandfather's house. And I know people within that house, very respectable people. And so we will plead that she should not bring any disgrace to that house, because that will affect a lot of people who probably are not benefiting from anything she is enjoying. And at the end of the day, when it is all said and done, people will say she is a Ga. So as a Ga, I'm pleading to her. She should do the right thing. That, oh, when the Ga woman was put there, she messed us up. It shouldn't be said of us. Because when a Ga decide to serve, they serve without taking anything. We are not corrupt. We don't engage in fraud. And we are brought up uprightly because of our names. Because whatever you do, your home will be traced. And the shame will not come on you alone, but onto you and your entire family. And that is what she should think about.
My voice sounds fantastic. When my mouth is full, you're rubbish anyway. But we have to move on to the topic of Galamsey and Doc. I would like you to start that topic for me, because you said you have something to say about.
He's the Redeemer. He has labored, he has suffered to lead his people into the land of freedom. He's the Redeemer. He has labored, he has suffered to lead his people into the land of freedom. He's the Redeemer. He has labored, he has suffered to lead his people into the land of freedom. He's the Redeemer.
Join us on Talk Time for great conversations on Africa's political and socio-economic struggle and how this positively impacts its people. The show brings out the different dimensions of local and international issues. Talk Time with Kwesi Pratt Jr. airs on Saturdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 8 p.m. only on Pan-African Television. Pan-African Television, truly African.
I've been unfair all this while, so Doc, you have to start for me again. Doc has started on the note of Galamsey. Actually, he had something to say about the previous topic. Please say that and move on to Galamsey for me.
Thank you. I hope I'm on air this time.
Yes, you are. You are, Doc. You are clear.
I'm saying that for 42 years, people like me and some people of our generation have believed in Ghana, believed in the ability of the Ghanaian to develop Ghana. Probably we were the last crop of young pioneers. And so that spirit of self-belief as a people of nationalism, of patriotism, of the African assertiveness was inculcated in us. And we might look like fools, but I still believe it is only the Ghanaian that can salvage Ghana. Not just salvage, but develop Ghana. God is down with us. He's given us all the resources we need to do to develop our country. God is done with us in terms of resource endowment. Our failure is our peculiar failure. And for that reason, I sit in Parliament. Jokingly, I hear my MPP friends, and I have friends across board, and I have been chastised, I've suffered for having friends across board. It doesn't matter. I will still do it. Because essentially, we're one people with a common destiny. If there is a Holocaust in Ghana today, there won't be NDC Holocaust and MPP. We all will sing together. And that is why it is important for all Ghanaians, irrespective of tribe, ethnicity, irrespective of political affiliation, irrespective of gender, irrespective of class. It is imperative that we work together to establish a democracy that will serve us well. My brother was talking about their house, their Ghana background and Ghana house. I also tell you that, you see, the advantage Mensa has is that she's also an Eve. So she represents the type of Ghana we want to see. A Ghana of ethnicities coexisting and living together. Increasingly, it's becoming difficult to find a Ghanaian who is one tribe. In fact, 3 generations from us, tribe will die out or will die down because of the intermarriages. You don't know what your grandchildren will be. Your daughter may not marry a Ghan. Your daughter will marry a Guan, a Chumuru like me. And so we should be extremely careful. So when MPP MPs jokingly say, oh, as for 2024 election, we will win by strategy. We will win by strategy. And it's an open thing they say, jokingly. And that is what informs our worry about the behavior of the EC. You've already been foretold we will win by strategy. Not necessarily by the number of people who vote for us, but by strategy. And we are seeing the installments, various installments of this in the behavior of the EC, whether deliberately or erroneously. And therefore, it is not just the NDC that must be vigilant. Yes, we are the dominant opposition party of record. But a broken Ghana affects every single person, including those who say they are apolitical. And therefore, I will be in Techiman, my regional capital, to demonstrate. Not because I'm the Cobra in Julius Caesar, who when asked why he was joining demonstrations said, oh, he was helping people to wear out their shoes so that they will bring the shoes to him as the Cobra. But I would demonstrate, go on demonstration to express my angst at what the EC is attempting to do, whether deliberately or not. Out of respect. But the most important thing, and I agree with my brother, that what is it about us that we are unwilling or unable to develop systems? If our approach to management was based on a systems methodology, then the most important things will be collectively agreeing and developing systems and enhancing systems to meet emerging challenges. Because the operating environment is not static. And therefore, change is the only constant in management. So in managing our electoral processes, an audit is the baseline. There have been allegations that are no longer mere allegations, backed by data that you have conceded. So let's do an audit and find out the shortcomings of the system. Because let me tell you, 2024 election is an election like no other election. This country would either move forward or melt down on the back of 2024. The challenges we know are there. Whoever inherits the outcome of 2024 will face major challenges. Major. Look, in the energy sector alone, we owe the power sector, not even the energy sector, the power subsector alone. There's an indebtedness of about $2 billion. The petroleum sector has its own. So whoever emerges will have such great challenges. But if the election is credible, if the election is fair and free, and then a new government emerges, there is going to be some goodwill. Some goodwill for us to face the onslaught together. But if this election results in disintegration of the nation state, our generation and the generation after us would have failed the Ghanaian people, not just the living, but the unborn and the dead, the founding fathers who shed their blood. So that is how serious this election is. Okay. Having said that, one of the major issues we have today is illegal mining. I'm using illegal mining to make a distinction between legal mining and illegal mining. On the legal side, we have the big mines, the commercial, and then we have the small scale mines on the legal side. However, the challenge has been regulatory failure. And as I've stated, one of the major fault lines of this country is the failure of regulators and regulatory bodies. Fortunately, I've had the experience of being a regulator. I was the founding chief executive of the Petroleum Commission. And so I have been a regulator. And I understand the art and science of regulation. When you see a regulator who is loved, you've seen failure. When you see a regulator who is loved, or a regulator that is loved, you've seen failure. Don't go searching for failure anywhere. Because the instincts of the human species, especially in the economic space, is to make the most irrespective of the risk to the environment and to society. And so the regulator is there to check people. So if you take small-scale mining, and I'm one of the longest-serving members on the Parliamentary Committee on Mines and Energy. I was kicked out only about a month ago.
Oh. By your party?
No. I was kicked out. Of course, they said, look, I have too much experience in that area. I need not be on the committee to speak on the issues of mining or on energy.
No, that's serious.
Yes, so...
It's a serious matter.
But the challenge has been regulatory failure. Regulatory failure compounded by impunity from the ruling class. You see, if you are given 25 acres as a small-scale mine, immediately you step 1 feet out of the 25 acre, it becomes illegal. you've broken the law. And I can tell you on authority that 90% of our legal small-scale miners are mining illegally because they have broken the law. They've moved out of the confines of that 25-acre concession. And once you step out, you become illegal. Who is there to stop such breaches or punish such breaches when they occur? It's the Minerals Commission, first and foremost. But the Minerals Commission is not the only regulator involved in the mining space. The Environmental Protection Agency is the second regulator. Mining must not destroy the environment. And that is why in a number of, all the extractive industries, apart from the regular regulatory body, you also need permits from the Environmental Protection Agency. So we have two regulatory bodies at the minimum to ensure that we do this right. All the laws on small-scale mining, including even big-scale mining, all the laws have been broken. In fact, the laws are noticed more by their breach than by their adherence. And as a people, we have either gone to sleep, majority of the people have gone to sleep on this, minority of the people in power are benefiting from the breaches of the various laws. And so it is not in their interest. And that is why when I heard that His Excellency the President has formed another ministerial team, this time a 5-man led by National Security, I told myself, when will we ever learn? When will we ever learn from our past? We consistently refuse to learn the lessons of our own history. We are not even talking of best practice elsewhere, and there's best practice. There are other jurisdictions with small-scale mining. Under no circumstances, learning from our history, must we license small-scale mining around any water body. Under no circumstance. Under no circumstance must we do this in forest reserve. But forest reserves seem to have become the sole property of people in government or people with connections to people in government in terms of illegal mining. Name them regional chairmen, sitting MPs, police officers, parliamentary candidates, ministers and deputy ministers have been involved in small-scale mining. And the movement from small-scale mine, legal small-scale mine, to illegal one is such a sloppy one. So sloppy that in my estimation, 80 to 90% of all legal small-scale mining has become illegal. And that is why I talk about regulatory failure. We must empower the Minerals Commission. We must give them the resources. We must get the right people with the right regulatory mindset to lead and work at the Minerals Commission. The regulatory mindset, the first instant is no. Let them convince you why it should be approved. It's a whole craft. Regulation is a craft. It's not just the implementation of law. It is a craft. But our success depends on the availability of political willpower. Not just by politicians, not just by the president, but even though more especially by the president, but also by civil society, by our value system. Today, My biggest fear is that galamseyers are increasingly determining who goes to parliament.
Even becoming president.
Increasingly, because of the availability of, for lack of a better expression, illicit money arising out of galamsey. They influence both parties, our primaries. They sponsor again candidates and sponsor the failure of others. So galamsey is not just an economic issue. It's eating deep into our body fabric. It's eating into the soul of Ghana and the Ghanaian polity. And so we cannot, if we continue on the present trajectory for the next 4 years, forget about Ghana. Ghana will become a failed state. On the back of galamsey alone. It's polluted even our morals. It's thrown easy money. Don't talk about polluting the environment. That virtually the environment is dead. And my biggest fear is that increasingly new, especially gold resources are being discovered across the whole country. In fact, the next big boom for gold mining is northern, upper east, and upper west regions. And if you add that to the destabilization in the Sahelian areas, in Talensi today, in Boko, in all the other areas, that's where in fact, the biggest two mines coming up, large-scale mines, are in Upper East and Upper West. Okay. So we are going to export a certain impunity, a certain illegality from the south of the country to the north. So very soon, if we do not take steps, the whole country would definitely be in the hands of galamseyers. So that is the enormity of the problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Doc, thank you. Me.
This gold thing is just like the voter register. Look, we should first and foremost identify the challenge on hand. Is the challenge its effects to the environment, which we are worried about? Or is the challenge the resources belonging to government being taken by people not approved, not licensed to do so, which amounts to stealing the resources of this nation? Or is the challenge the wealth it creates among individuals? Is the challenge export proceeds that do not go through our mainstream financial system? Or is the challenge the illegal export of what is mined illegally? If we have not defined the challenge, we can never have a solution to it. Why do you seize the assets of people who are convicted for doing drugs? And when you arrest people who have engaged in galamsey, you claim to have burned or seized their excavators. I think both deserve similar punishment. And the law should be made fair. Gold is hard money. Meaning it's a currency. And it is always in demand. Because of the difficulty in actually bringing out gold from the earth. The processes you would have to go through has never been easier. No technology has made it easy. It is said that there is no time that we have produced in any year 2% of the stockpile of gold. What it means is that whatever gold sits in the reserves of all these banks, the world is not able to produce more than 2% of the stockpile of what is there in our reserves. And that should tell you the value of gold. It is durable, it goes across space, and it is acceptable everywhere. Even the financial systems recognize it. And it can be used as mode of payment. So the question really is, the way we treat other minerals like oil, the way there is an account on oil quarterly, can we have the same on gold? Ghana took the lead in terms of the gold production in Africa. Which part of it is coming from illegal mining? And which part of it is coming from our mainstream, well-regularized mining companies? Can we be told? I think there has been some myth. The gold business have all been shrouded in some secrecy. Do you know why people took on to Bitcoin? Because if I mine Bitcoin and I have it, everybody is aware that I have that. And so you cannot steal. Unlike gold in this country, that you would have people who has gold, yet we don't know where they mine their gold from. We have people who sell gold, and we don't know the mining license they do have. Look, the chemicals that I use to catch gold, they are not chemicals I can go to any shop across the street and buy. These are regulated ones, hard to come by, because they are dangerous, harmful to the environment. How are those we call illegal miners able to get it at ease? How are they able to do it? I think we should be serious on this fight. We shouldn't wait for the Ghana Journalists Association, GMA, that comes out and say, it's harmful.
Aha, I am Nakado Ghana Limited. Your Wakaswa Jestab Hospital.
They go back to their businesses. We've set up a committee. I think the committee also.
Yes, I see dying. Yes, also yes surveying. The chile is as soon crater. Yes, also the infidel high. We are survey all around. Now, baby, the age you bar, you be a mount. There was a of me, baby. You will be what than chila. You will be out to group. You will be what to chew. You will be what akuti. Opesone Nakado Gana Casa. Frey our mind so 0536 943494.
Yamakwa Baba Nakado Ghana Limited. Yaton Sase, Yesi Adan, Yayak Adan Krata, Obahan Moa, Yabeti Swamon, Yasaseno, Langa Diniso, Sawu Usikan Sokrana Ba, Yabama Deni Asho, Wetian and Kakrakra, Sempo Yabodwa Juma, so Utopia water, we are de Oye Biano, Behaniata Swamon, Wutsa Ukra Sikan Sikaboten so Banso Ebehe. Na ya hwe ne aye ho adwuma ma ya asase no langard ni so aha no ntokwa ya ne asase ne sa eni hanom na se ye mo asase ne so a ye behwe ho ahu se ubenya wokrata a wo de dache obibi ni abetumi aye ho adwuma
Bidin the big mama ma bato asase me papa sinya na me saka yi asase so da form e wo Nakado company asase ne fofofo so when we say so pa e ma obi na what check kakra enti papa na me saka yi ti obi amra o ma de ne die obi amra o ma de ne die obi amra o ma de ne die Nakado company
Are there. You think the district assemblies, if they are really committed, cannot fight this? Look, the reward in it is so sweet that people tend to overlook the damage it causes. And therefore, if you want to solve this, you have to take away the reward. People without license come to Ghana and buy gold and take it away. How are they able to do it? You want to solve this? Solve it from exit points. Make it difficult to the extent that it will not be rewarding to engage in it. That is the best way of solving this. This interministerial whatever, what are they going to learn? You know, Honorable Kendapa belonged to the same alumni I belong to. That is the PKF alumni. He is an audit mind, accountant by profession. He will go logically to issues. But I asked him. He looked at the materiality of the benefits of illegal mining of gold before accepting the job. And if his members that he presides over, including himself, might not be influenced by the sweet benefits of gold. You cannot decide to go and fight on the grounds and leave the trading and exporting of gold illegally from this country intact. You can't fight it, because whatever price it is, they will pay for it. In this time when all currencies somewhat is suffering, inflation is a challenge almost everywhere, gold becomes the best of commodity and currency. and you want to fight it in this manner, the fight is already lost, because they will not be able to do anything. Again, how much money haven't we pumped into this? Have we valued what we seized and we cannot find? Have we valued the properties we destroyed in the fight, including lives, the costs to the environment, the cost to the military deployment vehicles that were put out there for all these years? And here we are again. So, like I said, it is a country of very unintelligent people, if anybody is watching from afar. That's something that should be used to the benefit of this nation, to develop this nation, to shove up the currency, the weak currency called the cedi, has become the benefit of just a few. And we cannot talk about it because it benefits all sides. We are not honest about it because it benefits all sides. Look, in 2016, when the NPP came to power, the first thing they rushed to safeguard is the mining sites. And Mr. Kandapa is aware of it. Honorable Kandapa is aware of it. So how well is he going to fight this? What are we supposed to expect from this committee that has been put up? That they will bring us another voluminous report, or they will get disgruntled among themselves and one person will issue a report, and the report to do what? We must clearly understand the challenges we are facing with Galamsey to be able to solve it holistically and stop playing about the bush with this thing. If we want to stop it, let's stop it. If we don't want to solve it, voila, let's allow them to mine and destroy the environment. Because when that day comes, it will not be just you that will suffer. I will equally suffer. Solo will suffer. Beatrice will suffer. Honorable Donko will suffer. If we want to be honest about this, let's be honest. The only thing troubling the Ghanaian is honesty. We are not honest people. And that is where I will end.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ning. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Solo crowd or pit.
He has labored, he has suffered to lead his people into the land of freedom. He is the Redeemer. He has labored, he has suffered to lead his people into the land of freedom. He is the Redeemer.
Join us on Talk Time for great conversations on Africa's political and socio-economic struggle and how this positively impacts its people. The show brings out the different dimensions of local and international issues. Talk Time with Kwesi Pra Jr. airs on Saturdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 8 p.m. only on Pan-African Television. Pan-African Television, truly African.
Welcome back from that break. In case you haven't heard, my voice is in very bad condition. We are discussing the issue of Galamsey and the call for a ban on mining, specifically small-scale mining in all its forms. Mr. Solomon knows who have his turn now.
Yes, if Sena's voice is bad, it is due to the Galamsey that is going on. The water that the people of this country have been drinking are all, as it were, polluted with these chemicals. So we're already showing symptoms of why we must fight against Galamsey. So that I would agree with Doc that we don't have the political will, as well as that we don't have the political will to fight this whole Galamsey menace. Because Galamsey is not something that is done in secrecy. It's an open activity that day in and day out we see the people that are involved. Each district in this country has a DISEC chaired by the district chief executive. Who does the district chief executive represent? He or she represents the president of the land. So if we have all these people in these districts where Galamseys take place, and it's not being fought, that means the president is involved. And that the very day the president of the land, together with the vice, will say, we have gotten enough good. We are stopping Galamsey. I'm telling you, it will not take more than a week. Galamsey will cease. So sometimes I wonder why people that we revere in society, instead of looking straight and speaking truth, they beat about the bush. The last time this issue came up strongly, we had the Christian Council, instead of telling the president that Mr. President, stop Galamsey, they bypassed the president and went to the Galamsey site and started praying. Praying to who? We always make God suffer in this country. He has given us that knowledge, that sense, to be able to identify where sources of problems are. You know it, that is the president that is allowing. In any case, our constitution entrusts all mineral resources in the care of the president. So if people are mining it illegal, and do we even need to tell the president that you swore an oath to defend this country, and defending this country includes preventing people from committing illegality? So why must we be calling on him to act and act properly? Sometimes this country is so sad. So what I'm saying is that the president is involved in this Galamsey business. The vice is involved, and that is why we are not able to fight it. Let them stop it. After all, Alistair Mattai has told us that every month, together with President Akufo-Addo, they ship out $40 to $60 million worth of gold, which was played live on Al Jazeera. The president wrote and threatened Al Jazeera that if they did not remove that episode or that video, he was going to take them on. I don't know whether it's now that the president is putting together his legal team to take Al Jazeera on. For his inability to take Al Jazeera on, it means he concurs that indeed is part of those that he is the leader of those that are doing the Galamsey. To rather formalize their Galamsey business as people in authority, why did they brought in community mining? It's another form of Galamsey. Do not deceive yourself. You go to my village, there is nobody there who has any knowledge about this mining activity. They have no capacity in terms of raising capital to go and buy excavators, buy all the other equipment needed for Galamsey. Yet they have it there. Who are those behind the purchase of this excavator? Is it not government functionaries and appointees and the people at the presidency? In any case, is it in doubt? Professor Frimpong Boateng amply mentioned all those that are involved in Galamsey. When a committee was set up. And interestingly, you know, in his report that he wrote to the Chief of Staff, he said that committee members that made up of the National Security Coordinator, the Minister for Defense, Information, Local Government as well, only the Sanitation and Local Government Minister were cooperating. So if you tell me you want to fight this whole thing again and you bring back another committee comprising the Defense Minister, National Security, Information, that did not, in the past, did not cooperate with the head of that committee, what are you doing? You are only playing with this. But the President's own opinion about this matter was what was carried by Abu Jinapo when he told the press that if we were to ban this galamsey, if we were to buy small-scale mining, this economy will collapse. And I wondered where he got his figures from. What economy are we talking about? We are talking about an economy that we are doing inflation at 20.4%. An economy that we are having to borrow before we survive. The president said you will even take a meal today, we have to go and borrow for him. So what economy is he talking about? There is no economy. The economy is gone. The impact or the effects of allowing people to destroy the very economy you are talking about, the cost of it is higher than allowing them to do it. So why would you not be a crusader in fighting this galamsey? I would urge the presidency to temper justice with mercy. You have gotten enough of good. You have enriched yourself. What shall it profit a man? They say affirmative action, so we add the woman. When you gain the whole world, or you mine the whole gold and kill all of us. Now we are all dying. Ghana Water says it cannot process water, treated water. Water is life. The very life, the very foundation of our existence is not threatened. It's not threatened. I've heard some journalists declare that we should declare the month of November, 11th of November, as the day to end foolishness. I agree with them. I think the Ghanaian youth particularly must invade all these forests and forcibly get all these galamseys out. If the presidency, together with the people in authority, believes that galamsey is good, let's send the president and his ministers to the Brim River, fetch a cup of Brim River for them to drink in its raw state. From there we move to the Ophir River, they drink. Pra, they drink. Angobra, they drink. They drink. If they will survive or live, then we all know that it's a good business. Professor Kripon Martin wrote that report, and today he has been taken to court by those, the criminals themselves are taking him to court because he wanted to save this country. Now you have the chief. I wish Doc was here to answer to me or to explain to me how come Parliament of Ghana together with the executive agreed to pass the LI 2462. I wanted to know that what went to do that we would allow mining to take place in our forests. What was Parliament thinking? President Akufo-Addo was not satisfied because his regional chairman, Wuntumi, was accused of entering the Tano-Nimri forest. In order to regulate that activity, quickly he went to Parliament to pass the LI 2462 to allow people to mine in our forest. And parliamentarians also okayed it. 137. Hey. Beyond that, they have given us ER 144. The large forest standing in Greater Accra, Achimota Forest. But that one will be killed at Bewula Show. I want those that have bought that land to enter. You let them enter and kill out that show. Why? Why must we destroy everything? What sort of greed is that? The levels of greed is legendary. It's legendary. Look, as soon as that LI 2462 was passed, in less than a year, 390,000 hectares of our lands were destroyed. And the records are there. The Ghana Institute of Foresters had to write to the president that, look, Mr. President, you are destroying the forest. So everyone has become irresponsible in this country. Last weekend, I went through Takwa, through to Bogoso, Ayamfore, Pajapa, to Dunkwa, Obwase, came to Kumasi and back to Accra. When I went past Waseko, there was a town there called Japa. I couldn't believe it. They have virtually destroyed the town. And interestingly, everywhere I saw Galamsey activity going on, 10 meters you see a police barrier. I don't know whether the police, they are there to supervise their daily sale collection or what. Our military have been taking awards on foreign lands as being professionals, ensuring peace. We took you to our forest and you became their guy. You have supervised the destruction. We can't trust police, we can't trust military, we can't trust ministers, we can't trust parliamentarians, you can't trust MMBC. So whom can we trust? Pastors are also involved in this galamsey, malams are involved, everyone is involved. And so Sena, you need that leader. In spite of all this, what is lacking is leadership. And that leadership is what Alan is professing or proposing in page 77 of our great transformational plan. Every solution is here. Now we are proposing that within 2 years we will end all this nonsense of galamsey. And how do we do it? Enforcement of the law. It's all about enforcing the laws. Don't enter forest, then you enter. The moment Alan ascend to the throne of this presidency, that LI2 forces would be removed immediately. What are we doing? So we would enforce the laws. Those young guys that have also acquired that skill in mining, this galamsey skill, we would bring all of them together and give them proper training. And also concession, legal concession, but with all the necessary tools to do proper mining. I don't even understand why foreigners must be doing large-scale mining in this country, and Ghanaians must be doing small-scale. We are happy with it. Every small-scale mining is associated with Ghanaian. Large-scale, we are, and don't forget that the big mining companies are also destroying the environment. It's not only Ghanaians. Most of them are also destroying the environment. So if it must be done, it must be done. Or Allah intends to bring all these young ones together, give them proper training, and give them a proper licensing regime, regulate them, so that they will contribute legally to the growth of this country. Now, we have entrusted all mineral resources into the care of one man, the president. If the president is insulted along the way before he goes to bed, then he can decide to give all the forest to the girlfriends. No, Alan is saying no. We have to amend Article 2576 to make the traditional authorities co-trustees so that we can hold them properly responsible. Otunvo got to the Praia River. He said it was an embarrassing spectacle. Embarrassing was the word he used. And how could we have sat down for that to happen? In other words, Otunvo was telling, how could the president allow this thing to happen and still call himself Your Excellency? What are you excellent in? That you are excellent because our environment is destroyed? So it would be amended. And finally, we will be doing lifestyle audit in this country. That is why a lot of young men who have stolen the country's money, they have paid young vloggers and bloggers to be insulting Alan. The moment Alan said he would do lifestyle, they started crying. Why must we not audit you as a young man that just came from out of the university? Because you did chobo in Tescon, chobo in Tain, your party comes to power, you are given position. Just like Payosana Majide, another useless guy. Going around telling people that when you come, given the opportunity, you'll be doing visa collection. And when you are given, you do visa collection, why must we not audit you? We will bring sanity into this together with Kiwodi. So, Sena, the problem with Galamsey is, don't go anywhere. The problem is already setting at the Jubilee House. And you people are beating about the bush, issuing statement left, right, center. The last time I heard the Christian Council, PSL family. Don't issue statement, call the president out. It is better to speak truth today and die of it. Posterity will be kind to you. Rather than what all of you are doing, pastors, you don't know, no more credibility. I don't even want to hear about their names. How come you people were the chair board of directors that you allowed the president to go and dig a hole with $58 million? And on that day that they were commissioning that project, was it commission or inaugurating? Which one is rich? Cutting the sword. I saw all these big pastors you call in this guy, when they are in their cow socks, their Bible like this. Praying, this is a good project, this is a good project. You aided this president to go and sink $58 million when part of the Bible tells you to go and give that bad advice. You are the reason this president goes about and do things with impunity. Destroying all the youth, their lives. Now the youth have turned into betting professors. Today is Saturday. Go and see the way the permutations are going. How Manchester will score Man United, Liverpool, how Barcelona will counter, how the youth, that's what they are doing now. They are expending all their energies is how a footballer will go and win for them to make money. It is because of the irresponsibility or irresponsible nature of this president and his government. How can he give us e-levy? And you boldly go and stand by the roadside. And these youth that go by those placards, do you think you abolish e-levy? Hey! Your own party, through the government, has introduced e-levy, and you are about to go and stand by the roadside. So if you don't know anything, why wouldn't you even read what they are giving you, so that when you get to the roadside, you turn it like this, so you show the blank space, then where they are waiting will face you, at least they'll give you money. So you keep I know times are hard, you are paid to do that. But use this.
Wrap up for me.
In wrapping up, elections have consequence. You voted for the New Patriotic Party, Nana Akufo-Addo, to come and save the situation. He rather came to save himself and his immediate family and cronies. Meanwhile, all of us pay taxes. Let election 2024 be a defining moment. Alan has created or intends to create a second chamber where former presidents, former ministers who are good at that, who have the nation at heart, will have a role to play. Look at this. Vote for that competent leader with that plan, this yellow book, with all the solutions. Ask my brother, the Don, he ought to vote for Alan because he's so neutral in his perspective. We need him. Vote for Alan and make sure. My sister there said, oh, no, you say when I get, she gets, so it's not a problem. If she gets, I won't get, so it's a problem. Vote for Alan to take this country to the next level, to bring all sides together, all the serious minds in this. If there are a lot of serious minds in this country, you marvel, that can develop this country in less than 2 years. But because of our partisanship nature, we don't get the best out of it. Let Alan lead us and let this country be.
So I want to also thank you very much. Lawyer Nan.
I have less than 15 minutes. Olo has been speaking for more than 20 minutes now. And I just shared a video of the Kentampo waterfall. Maybe, Sena, I should send to you so that
I can share my production crew.
Your production crew could be showing it while I speak. It's no longer funny. It's a risk, and all of us, we are endangered. You would think that it doesn't concern you because you live in Accra or you possibly live in the north, but I came to tell you that it concerns every one of us. The tomatoes we are buying, the onions we are buying, these days I can't buy Fanti Kenke on my way from Central Region again because I'm scared. And not buying the Fanti Kenke doesn't mean that I'm safe either, because I watched a video of a woman who said they use alum to make sure the dust settle, and then they use the water to prepare acheke, and then they sell. So if you're not eating Fanti Kenke and you're eating acheke, if you're not eating acheke and you're eating banku, and you're eating fufu, even if you're eating pizza. So none of us is safe. But when it comes to this Galamsey discussion, my difficulty is why the Ghana Medical Association, the UTAG, National Association of Teachers, or Ghana National, NAGRAT, and all the organizations that are speaking up, and we commend them for speaking up. The question is, why are we being hypocritical about the fight against Galamsey? The question is, why are we not calling a spade a spade? Why are we calling it a big spoon? Why are we pretending we don't know what is happening and everyone is trying to be diplomatic and we are all being politically right and we are all trying to sound and speak all the nice and big English, and we all come and sit here and it appears that we need to find a solution as if we were addressing a UN General Assembly? Why? The people doing Galamsey are the people in government, from the presidency to the last person. Why are we pretending we don't know that Charles Nite Kotegu at the office of the president is doing Galamsey, and the Professor Frimpong Watson's report says that he is doing Galamsey? Why are we pretending we don't know that Akunta mining is for Womb to me, and Womb to me is the one doing Galamsey in our forest reserve? Why are we pretending we don't know Prof. Kwam, the PC for Joabe? Why are we pretending we don't know that the women's organizer of the MPP, KJ Mfua, these are the people doing the Galamsey? So why are we making it look like some citizens somewhere are doing Galamsey and it's affecting us and government must step in to fight? Government should fight who? Who?
So fight yourself.
Who to me couldn't even fight that they should prevent Napo from becoming the running mate of the MPP. So see, why are we pretending? The MPP is the cause. If people are dying in this country, if women are carrying pregnancy for 9 months and going through all that hell, and they are having to give birth to babies with deformities, it is the doing of those in government. The president is an abetor. Why are we mincing words? When you speak, they will send you messages. Be careful about your security. Someone can shoot you. Don't say these things on air. Why are we pretending? If I don't die from shooting, I'll probably die from drinking the water anyway. Why are we pretending we don't know what is happening? And Galamsey has been a fight from Kwame Nkrumah's time and all that. Yes, it is true. But this current Galamsey is the doing of this government. And you see, the government earlier formed a committee, a 10-member committee. They came out to tell us that party here Sika. The party needed money so much that they failed. They seized the excavators and they shared it among themselves as if they were tomatoes. Now we have reduced the number from 10 to 5. So that in the past, if they seized 500 excavators and they chopped, we expect them to seize 250 this time. We have just reduced the number. Why are we joking with our lives? Why are we joking with everything in this country because we are afraid? Because when you speak, somebody will kill you, so we are afraid. You will die anyway from other things. I mean, what is happening to us? This government never set out to fight Galamsey. This whole fight against Galamsey was by the media coalition against Galamsey.
Yeah.
When the media started waging the war, the lives of Erastus Asarudonko, they started mentioning names of politicians, in fact specifically NPP people, that these were the people involved in the fight against Galamsey. The government, to cover up its shame, then formed the Interministerial Committee to fight, or to purportedly fight, Galamsey. In that report, the chairman, who is Professor Frimpong Watson, is telling us that the main cause of all the discussion we are having to do this morning is that as far back as 2018, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, together with the Forestry Commission, gave mining leases to companies to go and mine in all 47 forest reserves. It is contained in page 3 of the Professor Frimpong Watson's report. So as far back as 2018, this government gave companies, at the last count, they had given more than 1,500 companies mining leases. These are even people who are licensed. Not to talk of the likes of Akunta Minings, which we are told they don't have the mining leases. The minister tells us that Akunta Mining never had, and you know, the interesting, they have very funny ways of naming their companies. Ejapa, Asase, Akunta, Wase, and all those kind of things, which do not have the mining leases. And these people from 2018, and you know, from Kwame Nkrumah's time, yes, to President Rawlings's time, to President Mills, President Kufuor, who is even an NPP president, to President Mahama, there has been an issue of Galamsey. What we had were locals who were using very simple tools to extract what will appear as gold, not even in commercial quantities. They were just using simple tools, and that is why the name Galamsey. They didn't have sophisticated instruments. Even if they washed the gold, it had no effect on the water bodies, because what is the quantity of gold that a person can use their strength to dig, to extract or mine? And even with that, we kept saying that it was too much. We kept saying that if you don't care a bit, the effect will be just devastating and all that. What you have today are a group of politicians who have had access to state resources, to our taxes, to our funds, who can no longer keep it under their beds because their house helps are competing with them to steal the monies. They cannot take them to the banks because there will be trails. So they have invested in shamfines and excavators, and they are conducting mining not on small-scale basis. These are not small-scale minings. That in the past, students will pay to go and watch Kintampo Water Forest or Kintampo Waterfalls. And it was like an excursion. Even in recent times when we went to the Bono.
This is the current state.
Yes, this is the current state of the Kintampo Waterfall. Look at the picture in 2016, the video, and look at it currently.
Oh, wow.
That you will have to go for an excursion here. That you will pay and you will carry students, your children, your family, to go to Kintampo Waterfall, and this is what you will go and see. And we are pretending that there is some Galamsey, and we are calling on government to fight the Galamsey. How is Kandapa, who is the chairman of the new committee that has formed, how is he expected to fight Kejimfua, who is a women's organizer, who perhaps is also at fake and neck meetings? Chairman Woon, to me, who is the one who is the chairman of their strongest base, which is the Ashanti region, is the one engaged in the illegal mining. He even has the effrontery and the temerity to bring gold on live shows to present to you that yes, he's mining gold, so what? And you want, but you people, you actually believe Bernardo has got some balls. The man who has been swallowed up by corruption. He himself is the chief clearing agent of every corrupt activity. From the Australian visa scandal to the PDS to the boss contaminated fuel to the Siciliadapa scandal and everything, he will clear you. He even cleared Pius Ajide. Recently, Pius has gone to confess that yes, indeed, the crime which the president cleared me of, I'm guilty. And given the opportunity, I'll even do more. You expect this man to fight Galamsey. There can be no better state of emergency than that which Ghanaians must declare on the MPP and vote the MPP out. Every government will have its excesses. Every government may not be perfect. President Rawlings had his excesses, he was criticized for it. President Kufuor had his excesses, he was criticized for it. President Mills, President Mahama had their excesses, they were criticized for it. But never in the history of our country have we seen the levels of negligence and the levels of confidence in doing the wrong thing like we have the MPP do. Never in the history of our country have we descended so low that it appears that conscience is more expensive than the price of bread. Never have we come this low that, I mean, you know, these days, when they invite even neutrals who are perceived to be MPP people, because of their CVs and their jobs, they cannot even say otherwise. Because the facts are so damning. And if we don't rise against this menace, it will kill all of us one after the other. And this is how the thing kills you. The effects of the Galamsey will not kill you in one day. It will, first of all, prepare you for underlying conditions. Sicknesses you didn't have, you will start experiencing. You see some parts where they are doing Galamsey. The people have rashes all over them. You will sit in church with someone from that community. You will develop some and you will bring it to your home. You say that, oh, it's not, I mean, I live in Accra, I live in the north, I live somewhere that they don't do Galamsey, but even now it has started in parts of the north. And so I'm not part of it. You will inherit that rashes. You will bring it. By the time you see, you are eating the kenke made from the mercury and all the other substances. And then gradually you say that, oh, we didn't even know what happened to the person. We were all here and the person has just died. We are all endangered species. To the MPP, there is no limit to stupidity. To the MPP, there is no limit to what is wrong. There is no limit as long as they are making their filthy money. And you see, in all these, it is so evident that Dr. Bawumia is complicit in this Galamsey in ways you will not even believe. We have run elections in this country from 1992 and even pre-1992. We have never had a campaign coordinator in charge of mining and mining communities. The Alliance for Change, they are here. Do they have anything like campaign coordinator?
We will never have that. We will
never had it. Today, Bawumia has gone to appoint the man who is a Galamsey kingpin that people have alleged that he is engaged in Galamsey, Mekuduka, as the campaign coordinator in charge of mining and mining communities. What is happening? Are we cursed? To Bawumia, nothing matters except power. But even if you want power, don't the people have to live before they vote for you? So something, I mean, there must be a limit to certain things. And so Napo is everywhere, telling them that, you know what, the seas excavators will return them to you. His campaign team was so embarrassed and they came out to say that he never said that and that they'll release the original video. It's been 72 hours. We are still waiting for original video. The man who speaks anyhow. Yet a 10 wahim film pony. And then if he was raised in the bush, your guess is as good as mine. If you are raised in the palace and you never learn how to speak, I think that but for politics, he would never have had a future. Because where from this? He speaks anyhow. Went to the communities telling them, hey, you know what? Continue the galamsey. In fact, we even had the opportunity to meet the people in the small-scale mining to understand the reason why we are where we are. And they even tell us that when the NPP assumed power, all the concessions which had a lot of potential, they banned mining. And they took those concessions for themselves. And they asked the citizens to go and do other things. So when they lost in the mining communities, they thought it was because, but in 2020, they never banned galamsey. So why did they lose? They took away the concessions of the people. So today, when we talk about galamsey, it is not that some people somewhere are doing galamsey. It is the government officials themselves. And to even give a backing, Baumia says that, you know what, you must protect that. They need the galamsey money to bring to your homes to share for you, to buy rice and come and share for you during election, to buy salt and Maggi and come and share for you. But I want to tell every Ghanaian that we must not sacrifice our conscience on the altar of money. Please, when they bring the money to you during elections, take it.
Okay.
If they give me some, I will take.
Please, you have to wrap up for me.
I'm wrapping up. But we must vote against the NPP with all the anger in us so that every political party, including the NDC, will learn that when people give you the opportunity to have access to the state resources, it is to make their lives better and not to enrich their families. But you Ghanaians should know, we the Ghanaians should know, that before the NPP will come sharing 500 cedis to you, 1,000 cedis, 200 cedis, they have stashed under their bed like Cecilia Dapa millions of dollars and they are just giving you. We have never seen these levels of impunity. And so I urge everybody that this galamsey is not an NDC NPP fight. Let's not be deceived when people reduce the discussion to partisanship. Let us reject this with every mind because we are all endangered species.
Okay. Thank you very much. And a big thank you to you, Beatrice Annan. I don't want to be in your line of fire anyway. She's a deputy spokesperson for the John Mahama campaign. And of course, a big thank you to, I have two Annans on the show. Nia Boy Annan, who is a financial analyst. So say that she was the fact that he's a member of the ADC.
I will bring him to the movement because he's a neutral.
So he should stay a financial analyst.
When he becomes a member of the alliance, then he becomes a financial analyst because we are all independent minded.
Okay.
We are independent minded.
I see.
But that is not the
Solomon also is a member of the movement for change.
Already you have
Happy birthday to Sewa, who is the director of the show today, and also happy birthday to Henry Ahonto Collins and you, Ayi. Good morning to Joanna in London. And of course, a belated happy birthday to Scoffrey Nanayaboa. We are back same time next week with another edition of the show. If my voice does not improve, you won't see me here. Today, I was confident I had regained my voice, only to turn up here, and it didn't work. So I apologize for not being able to read your comments and messages on the show. I didn't want to torment you with my voice. The voices you've heard are the voices that matter. A big thank you, of course, to Dr. Kobna Donko, who completed our panel for today's Member of Parliament for Pro-East. A big thank you to my crew. Once again, a happy birthday to Sewa. We are back same time next week, and of course, we're live on Pan-African Television and also live on radio and Radio Gold, many other affiliate stations across the country. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Africa's political and socio-economic struggle and how this positively impacts its people. The show brings out the different dimensions of local and international issues. Talk Time with Kwesi Pratt Jr. airs on Saturdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 8 p.m. only on Pan-African Television. Pan-African Television, truly African.
The law is pertinent to every aspect of our lives, and so Lawyers must not be the backup plan for the rainy day only.
Nothing received from a client should be put in a lawyer's personal account until such time that the money has actually been earned.
It is very dangerous to perpetuate the theory that it is narcotics that leads to crime increase.
The relevance of the law cuts across our business, social, and family.
Aha, I am Nakado Ghana Limited. You work as well, just up hospital. You do my idea in Sassi, who do money. Yes, I see dying. Yes, also yes, surveying. Nature in Sassoon crater. Yes, also the infidel high, we are survey all around. Now, baby, the age of my bar, you be near Biamau. There was Sassi of me, baby. You will be what danger. You will be out to group. You will be what you do, you will be what akuti. Upesoni Nakado Ghana Kasa. Frey wa umainsu 0536 943494.
Ya mwakwa baba Nakado Ghana Limited. Ya ton sase. Yesi adan. Ya adan ho krata. Oba hanom a ya bete so ama. Ya sase no langard ni so. Se wu sika nso kra na oba. Ya bebo moden ni ahwew. Watua ne kakrakra. Se mpo wo ya bodwa adwuma. Se uton pia water wo ye de yo ni o ye bia no. Behwe ne ate so ama wo. Wo se ukura usika nso sika boten so ba nso ebehwe na ya hwe ne aye ho adwuma ma. Ya sase no langard ni so. Aha no ntokwa ya ne asase ne sa eni hanom. Na se ye mo asase ne nso a ye behwe ho ahu se ubenya wo krata a wo de dache obibi ni abetumi aye ho adwuma.
Within the big mama. My daughter asase. Me papa signa na me sakai. Asase so da form e wo Nakado company. Asase ne fofofo. So woni wusika so pa ye ma obi. Na wo twa kakra. Enti papa na me sakai. Ti obi amra. O magine die. Obi amra. O magine die. Obi amra. O magine die. Nakado company.